For anyone who hasn't met me yet, I am Caro, and I am so excited to be here. Um, if you are new to this group, or if you're just feeling very sociable and you want to introduce yourself, you are welcome to chat your name into the little chat box on the Zoom screen and let us know what state you're joining in from today as a little introduction. I am joining from Texas today, where it's a beautiful spring day. Happy spring, everyone. This session is recorded, and that's really just so that we can share this class with y'all later on YouTube if you want to take it at a different date. So we're not recording you, we're really just recording me so that we can share the class with everyone later. To ensure that we all have the best experience today so that everybody can hear me, I am going to ask that y'all stay muted during the class. So turning off your little microphone. And then at the end of class, I will invite you to turn your microphone on if you want to say hi or share how you're feeling or any thoughts you had about class. Let's go to the next slide and see. How do I get there? One moment, everyone. Okay, here we go. So this is a free virtual event series for y'all. And at the bottom here, you can see the GoGoGrandparent website, as well as the 855 number, which you're welcome to call if you ever have any questions about the services or if you want to add more services. For example, we offer rides and meals and grocery support, as well as medication delivery and home service and sort of handyman stuff. If any of that sounds like something you want to learn more about, you can always call that 855 number. I'm working on a little jingle for that 855 number so it's easier to remember. But for now, you could just take a look at it. All right, let's see. Okay. If you'd like to refer a friend, you can always grab the referral code on the bottom of your GoGo receipts or on your online dashboard. And that will give you $10 off and your friend $10 credit when they join. So a little just incentive to grow our GoGo community. Another way to grow the community is to join our Facebook group. There's a link here, and V, who is our amazing program manager, might add that link to the Facebook group in the chat just so y'all can click directly if you want to join the Facebook group. It's just a really positive and uplifting community where you can sort of meet other people who use GoGo services. Here's me. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a dancer. I love to garden. I love to move. We are going to be moving for about 40 minutes. Sometimes it becomes 45, but essentially we'll be checking in, doing some yoga and movement and stretching for about 45 minutes. Ooh, we have 3 chats. Joanna from California. Welcome. Dean from Chicagoland. I like that. V has posted the Facebook group link if y'all want to join in the chat. Thanks, V. And then we will have about 10 minutes at the end of class for y'all to share and talk and sort of let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to change, what you want to keep, and how you're feeling. Okay, last but not least, do make sure you are sitting in a chair that supports your body. So what I mean by that is a chair that doesn't have wheels on the legs. Also, I like to use a chair that's got a little bit of weight to it. So we are going to be doing a few movements standing. And I do want to make sure everybody has some support so that you can rest a hand on your chair or maybe on the wall to give yourself some balance support. I think the next slide just says, let's move. So let's move. Okay. A couple little housekeeping items before we get started. So the spring equinox was yesterday. And something I like to think about right around the equinox is working on balance in my life. And so if that's interesting to you, you could sort of take that as a kind of guiding focus for our practice together today. And what that means is we're looking for balance in our bodies. So we'll do some physical balancing. Miss Chloe says, hello, everyone. Peace. Hi, Miss Chloe. Welcome. And we're also looking for balance in our hearts and minds. So we always want to find a balance between taking care of other people, taking care of ourselves, finding a balance there. Balance between work and play. And sort of looking for any parts of our lives or experience that are kind of shifted in any sort of extreme and kind of finding a way to explore balance. And whatever that means for you today. Because the equinox is half day, half night. It's the day when, day out of the year when the night and the daylight are equal length, equinox, equal night. All right, let's get started. As I move back, I do want to make sure you can still hear me. So I'm just going to see if I could get a thumbs up. Who can I see here? I can see Doug and Margaret. Could y'all give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me as I move back to my chair? Great. Awesome. Okay, so beginning your practice, maybe you want to sit comfortably, possibly leaning back into the support of your chair. So that may feel like you want to get your legs more comfortable, your arms more comfortable. Maybe you close your eyes, taking a moment to sort of arrive to your practice. Noticing that as we move into a moment of stillness, we are giving our minds a chance to catch up to our body. So that our thoughts are here in the present moment. Our bodies are here in the present moment together with our thoughts. It's perfectly normal to have our thoughts sort of wander into the past or into concerns about the future. But if you want to, today, if you notice that happening, beginning to guide your awareness back towards the present. One way to connect with the present is to notice that we are breathing. Noticing what it feels like to breathe in, what it feels like to breathe out. You're welcome to try breathing in through your nose, filling your body with nourishing breath.
I can't hear you very well.
Oh, thanks for letting me know that. All right, maybe I'll just speak up a bit, huh? I'll bring my chair a little closer. If you want to, as you're breathing, is that a little bit better? Can I get a thumbs up? Yeah? Okay, great. As you're breathing, you may notice a kind of expansion or a feeling of growing larger in your belly. And maybe as you exhale, you may feel that kind of softening or drawing inward. You're welcome to stay here for a few more full cycles of breath. There's no rush, so really just whenever you feel ready, you could begin to blink your eyes open if they were closed. Possibly a little movement in our fingers or our toes. Maybe you start to circle your ankles or your feet, your wrists. Maybe you take a great big stretch, extending your arms overhead, extending your legs, breathing in. And as we exhale, you could lower your arms and land your feet. Maybe you start to sit a little bit taller, possibly even scooting forward. So we're creating some space between our body and our chair. And if you want to, you could begin to lean or rock from side to side. Now, we begin with the side to side movement to listen in not only to our side body, but you may start to feel some sensations in your abdominals, maybe down into your hips. You could continue side to side, Or another way to start moving would be to begin circling your torso in some way. What that may bring is some sensations down into our lower back, maybe even into the backs of your legs. Exploring, taking a longer breath in, maybe extending your breath out as well, and changing directions as many times as you'd like. As you feel ready, if you want to, you could begin to lean forward any amount. So we're coming into our first forward fold. Your hands could be on your knees. You could also bring your elbows to your knees and maybe lean or rock side to side. So this may start to bring a stretch into sort of your mid back, your lower back on each side. It may feel useful to sort of lower one shoulder and then the other. And that's the beginnings of our spinal twist. So we want to move really mindfully, noticing how that's feeling in our upper back. As you bring your right shoulder forward, you could look to the left. And as you bring your left shoulder forward, you could look to the right. Kind of moving from side to side, getting a bit of a twist into our upper back. Starting to come through what feels like center for you. And if you'd like, you could bring just your left hand to your left knee. So that may allow a little opening to the left. We're sort of continuing that twist. If your left arm wants to open or extend, you could try that, breathing in. On your exhale, bringing your left elbow back to your knee, and then we'll try that on the other side. Maybe your right hand to your right knee. Maybe you open or twist to the right. It's totally up to you if you want to extend or open your right arm. Let's breathe in. On your exhale, you could bring your right elbow back. And then each of us in our own timing, we're going to take that once more on each side, maybe inhaling to open, maybe exhaling our elbow back. And then maybe we try that on the other side, inhaling to open, and then perhaps exhaling back towards center. From here, if you want to, you could push into your knees to lift up. Maybe you reach overhead to breathe in. And on our exhale, we're going to circle our wrists, getting out our snap, crackle, pops all the way down. Breathing in, maybe we reach right back up. This time as we exhale, perhaps flicking through the air. So this is not only sending circulation and strength to our fingers, but also to our forearms, sort of strengthening the muscles in our arms. Let's breathe in, maybe reaching up. This time as we exhale, we could wiggle our fingers, finding your full range of motion in your fingers and your thumbs all the way down. As we inhale, if you choose to, you could reach right back up, breathing in. And as we exhale, maybe you bend one elbow, reaching up with one arm. And then we'll swap that out, breathing in to reach up, exhaling to the other side. Noticing how this is feeling into the side of your body. And if it sounds interesting to you today, you could slowly begin to bring this movement forward. Now, I'm going to just turn slightly to the side so you can sort of see what I'm doing here. We're drawing one elbow back and reaching forward with the other arm. Now, sometimes this is called archer's breath. You may notice a little bit of a spinal twist, sort of opening from side to side. If you'd like some movement in our hands here, you could explore pulling in with one hand as you push forward with the other. And then we'll swap that out, pulling forward with one hand, pushing forward with the other. It's kind of like rubbing your belly and your head as our arms and hands push in opposite directions of each other. You may notice some strengthening feelings in your shoulders or your arms, some muscle dynamics there as we strengthen our arms. As you feel ready, maybe you push both arms forward. Then as we breathe in, you could pull the air in towards your heart. And as you exhale, you could push forward, leaning forward any amount. So that as we breathe in, we're sort of pulling in. As we exhale, we're extending forward. breathing in, pulling in, and exhaling forward. This is a significant strengthening experience for our shoulders, our arms, noticing maybe some muscle sensations in your arms or your upper body. As we inhale, if you'd like, you could pull in. This time as we exhale, we're gonna release our arms all the way down. Maybe you shake out a little bit or circle your wrists. Your shoulders may be asking you for some gentle movement here. So you could bring your hands to your knees and maybe take a circle or two in each of your shoulders in each direction. Possibly inhaling to draw your shoulders forwards and up. And as we exhale, we could roll them down and back. So we're breathing in to sort of draw forwards and up. We're exhaling down and back. Maybe you take that a few more times at your own pace. Remembering that this is your body, your experience. You can opt out of any of this at any point for any reason, or change these movements in some way. As you feel ready, you could roll your shoulders down and back, and then shift your awareness down into your feet. So I am going to scoop back a little bit. I'll try to just speak up so you can still hear me. We're exploring maybe lifting one heel and then the other, and noticing sort of how that feels down into our ankles and our feet, sort of strengthening our calves, our shins, some of the stabilizing muscles around our ankles. As you feel ready, one option here would be to lift your heels, and then we'll tap our heels from side to side. So sort of shifting our heels right to left, noticing how that may feel in your ankles or your feet today. And as you begin to bring your feet or your heels towards stillness, possibly lifting one foot off of the ground and then the other. Now, we can use the strength of our hands and our arms here to lift and lower. Noticing how we're breathing, how our legs are feeling. And there's a couple different variations here. So one option is to draw your knees sort of straight towards your heart. That may bring one type of sensation. Another option is to begin lifting your knee, and then we're going to guide it slightly open to the side. So that may bring a different sensation into your hip. And you're welcome to try both, sort of seeing which one feels more interesting for you today. If you'd like to draw your knee to the side or straight in towards your chest. You know, each one may feel a little different. Maybe one side of your body is asking for a different sensation than the other side of your body. That's perfectly okay. At some point, if you'd like to, you could lift your left knee, maybe drawing it in towards your heart. Now we can hold on to our shin. We could also hold on to our leg. Wherever you are, if you're finding that you're really rounding towards your knee, it may feel useful to lift and lengthen, breathing in. And on your exhale, possibly circling your toes, listening into our ankle joint here. Maybe we point and flex our foot. You could also flex your foot and then shake your foot no, sort of shaking your foot laterally from side to side. On an inhale, if you want, you could start to extend your left leg forward, and then we'll slowly land our heel. So we're looking for a stretch into the back of our left leg. Maybe scooting slightly forward so our chair isn't kind of cutting into our leg. As we inhale, we could find our full spinal height. And as you exhale, if you'd like to, you could choose to lean forward any amount. This may be where you choose to stay. It may feel really interesting today to stay with that stretch in the back of your leg. If you're finding that you want movement, maybe inhaling to look forward. So there could be a little bit of an arch in our upper back. As you exhale, possibly rounding forward, maybe looking down towards your feet, and then inhaling that lift, that little arch in your upper back. So that movement might feel useful today. Sort of adding in that stretch in the back of our left leg, a little bit of spinal movement. At some point, if you'd like to, you could come into a neutral place, stretching forward, and bring your right hand to your right knee. One option here is to start to look to the right. And as you do that, your right arm may open to the right, breathing in and exhaling your arm back down. We're going to push into our legs to lift up, reaching overhead, breathing in. As we exhale, maybe bringing your hands together to your heart. As you inhale, you could dive upward into the sky and exhale your arms slowly back and down. A little shake out in our hands or a wiggle in our fingers, and we'll begin to plant both feet side by side. Maybe take a little bit of windshield wiper movement from side to side, kind of softening into our hip joints a bit. There's no wrong way to move. Remembering that I'm just here to give you some suggestions of ways you could move, but you're always welcome to move in whatever way feels good for your body today. Maybe you bring your knees towards a moment of stillness. Before we take that whole sequence on the other side, you could heel toe to just a little bit of a wider stance, so our knees sort of moving further away from each other, and then possibly coming back to our torso circles. So maybe beginning to find some circular movement with your torso, possibly a larger range of motion than we found earlier. If you want to, you could breathe in for a full circle and breathe out for a full circle. Trying out both directions. Slowly beginning to come forward into our wide forward fold. So with this wider stance in our knees, you may find that you want to bring your elbows to your knees. It's possible that you choose to bring your hands to your shins or your ankles or your feet. One other option would be to bring your fingertips to the ground between your feet. That's available if you prefer that. And wherever you are, maybe you bow your head forward. So it's almost as if we are inviting our neck to let go of the weight of our head. Swaying a little bit from side to side. We'll be here for a few cycles of breath. Each of us breathing at our own pace. And you're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you want. Whenever you're ready to come out of your forward fold, I'd love to invite you to take your time, maybe bringing your hands to your knees to look forward, and then giving your head plenty of time to slowly lift up above your heart, reaching up to breathe in, and exhaling our hands together to our heart, breathing in, diving upward into the sky, and exhaling your arms slowly back and down. As we begin to heel toe our feet back towards center, maybe we bounce out our heels. And if it sounds interesting to you, maybe you come right back to lifting one foot and then the other. Again, you have a couple options here. Maybe you're drawing your knees straight in towards your heart. That might feel really useful today, or like an interesting stretch for your body. That other option would be to explore sort of lifting our knee and then guiding it slightly to the side. That may change the sensation or the stretch in our hip joint. You may notice that it brings a little bit of a different sensation today, more mobility. You could continue this for as long as you choose, until perhaps you decide to draw your right knee up and in towards your heart. As much as feels comfortable, we do want to lift and lengthen to our full spinal height, breathing in. And on your exhale, you could begin to circle your ankle or point and flex your foot perhaps. And then it may feel useful here to flex your right foot and sort of shake your foot no. Sort of shaking your foot from side to side. Maybe as you inhale, you extend or stretch your right leg forward, and then exhale to land your heel. So I'm just going to turn to the side a little bit so you can see what I'm doing in case that's useful for you. Sometimes I find it helpful to have my right leg straight. Other times a little bend in my knee feels more supportive. You're welcome to try both and kind of see which you prefer today. As we inhale, maybe lifting through your heart to lengthen through your spine. And as we exhale, you could hinge forward any amount, using perhaps your hands to support you on your legs. Now, you're welcome to stay here. So sometimes when we hold a stretch, it's called a static stretch. You're welcome to stay in the stretch. If you're feeling that you prefer movement, as you breathe in, you could look forward, sort of lifting through your heart, arching a bit in your upper back. And then as we exhale, you may find that you want to round forward, bowing your head. Now that movement may feel useful today. You could continue to lift as you inhale and sort of round forward as you exhale. Always welcome to pause in your stretch or find stillness in your stretch if you prefer. And then as you come forward into your stretch, maybe pausing here, you have the option of bringing your left hand to your left knee and maybe opening to the left. As you do that, maybe extending your left arm to the side. It's possible that you want to open to the left, breathing in. Then we'll exhale to bring our left hand down if it was lifted, pushing into our legs to lift up. Maybe you reach overhead to breathe in, exhaling, bringing your palms together to your heart. As we inhale, you're welcome to dive upward. And as you exhale, you could reach your arms slightly back and down, really opening across our chest or shoulders. We'll plant our feet if you'd like, maybe bouncing on our heels. And then I find it helpful to take that windshield wiper movement. You're welcome to try that as well. And then sometimes it can feel useful to widen our stance and then continue that windshield wiper movement. So occasionally having a wider stance can give us more range of motion. Another option you have here is to sort of bring stillness to your right knee, and then we'll just take that movement in our left knee, maybe rolling from the outer edge to the inner edge of your left foot, really listening into our left hip joint. Then you could try that on the other side, finding stillness in your left knee and encouraging maybe some movement in your right knee. Noticing how that might feel today. As you begin to bring your knees towards a moment of stillness, possibly angling your toes out away from each other and coming back to that side-to-side movement that we began with, leaning or hinging from side to side. You have the option of using the support of your forearms as you lean from right to left. Imagining as you lean to the left that there's a sort of rotation open, so we're sort of looking up and to the right. And then if you'd like, you could try that on the other side, leaning to the right, opening to the left. As you continue from side to side, you may find your arms wanting movement. You could explore reaching one arm overhead and then the other, and that may bring all sorts of opening and stretching feelings kind of in our upper rib cage into our armpit, our upper back, lengthening, opening, as if we are creating more space inside our body so we can breathe more deeply. Starting to come through what feels like center for you, maybe reaching up to breathe in. On your exhale, you could turn your palms to face forward, maybe lifting your heels off of the ground. Sometimes this is called star form. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, releasing your arms down, landing your heels, and maybe softening your hands on your knees so we can heel toe our feet back towards neutral, maybe bouncing out a little bit. Before we begin to explore some optional standing movements, you may find that you want to take a little bit of a spinal twist here. One way to do that is to slide just your left hand towards your left hip. As you do that, maybe opening to the left, so sort of looking to the left, breathing. On your exhale, you could try that on the other side. So our right hand's going to slide towards our right hip. Maybe our left hand slides forward, looking to the right. And then you could continue from side to side, sliding one hand forward and then the other. If you're feeling that you'd like to pause in your twist, maybe the next time that you're looking to the left, you could pause here. And then your right hand could make its way over to your left knee. So we're not cranking into a twist. We're just exploring a spinal twist where we feel we could stay for a few cycles of breath. Imagining within your twist, sitting just slightly taller, breathing in. And then as you exhale, you could look forward, so past your right shoulder. That might feel interesting. Then you could also inhale to look behind you past your left shoulder. You could decide which one of those feels more useful to you. Then we'll start to look forward, unwinding through center, bringing your left hand over to your right knee, finding your twist on this side, imagining sitting taller as we inhale. And as you exhale, you could look forward past your left shoulder, inhaling, maybe looking past your right shoulder behind you. Exhaling your way back through center, maybe a little shake out in our hands. Sometimes I find it useful to flick through my fingers here, just sending more circulation down to my fingers. As we inhale, let's reach all the way up. And this time as we exhale, drawing your fingers down towards the base of your palm. So making a gentle fist and then circling your wrists, continuing to breathe as we bring our arms down. So that may be a significant stretching sensation into our wrists, forearms, the backs of our hands, all the way down. We'll go ahead and rest our hands on our knees. If you'd like to remain seated, you're welcome to. If you're feeling that you want to try standing, one way to get to standing is to explore sort of drawing our feet slightly in and then leaning forward, possibly reaching forward until maybe your hips lift off of your chair. From there, pushing into the ground with your feet, unfurling as you rise up to standing, breathing in and exhaling your arms all the way down. Maybe you send your hips from side to side as we welcome ourselves to some standing movements. If you're seated, you could lean or rock from side to side. If you're standing, making your way back behind your chair so that we have that support, giving ourselves a little support and balance here. Now, you could come back to hip movement side to side, or you could begin to circle your hips through the air. If you're seated, maybe taking some torso circles, noticing how that feels into your lower back. If you're standing, possibly bringing your hands to your waist or keeping your hands on your chair and allowing your torso to participate in these hip circles, maybe starting to feel some stretching into the backs of our legs, hips, trying that out in both directions. And as you begin to come through what feels like center, from wherever you are, maybe as we inhale, we lift our heels any amount off the ground. As you exhale, you could lower your heels, bending your knees. We're going to lean forward as we draw our hips back. So coming into a kind of invisible chair. Inhaling to rise back up and exhaling to sit down into the invisible chair. Now, if your hands are wanting to do something different, as you sit into the invisible chair, you could reach your arms overhead. And as you rise up to that moment of balance, you could either rest your fingers on your chair or reach down alongside your back. So whichever one of those feels more stable or interesting for your body today, moving in a way that connects your body to your breath. So each inhale, we're rising up, lifting up. Each exhale, we're lowering down, actively drawing our hips back towards the wall behind us, breathing in to rise up, and exhaling to lower. And we're going to move into a moment of balance here whenever you feel ready. Maybe the next time you are inhaling to rise up, you could choose to pause here. Now our heels could be lifted any amount off the ground. You may find it useful to engage your feet and your abdominals, finding something in front of you that you can look at that's not moving that will help you with your balance. Possibly bringing one hand over the other over your heart. Let's breathe in. On your exhale, landing your heels if they were lifted, releasing our arms down, maybe sending your weight side to side, or lifting one heel and then the other, giving some movement to our legs. After asking our bodies to balance like that, you may find it useful to come into our supported downward dog. So if you're standing, we want to keep our hands on the back of our chair and begin to step our feet back so that we can bend at the waist, extending, actively drawing your hips back and looking at the ground. You may find it useful to lift one heel and then the other. You could also plant your heels and send your hips from side to side. That might feel useful today. If you're seated, you could explore leaning forward, reaching your arms overhead, lengthening, reaching. Just noticing what that feels like to find some length into the back of your legs, your spine. Mommy. Where you are in this moment, let's take 3 or 4 full cycles. Let's start to look forward, stepping our feet in as we inhale and make our way towards standing, reaching up to breathe in. Exhaling our hands together to our heart. Inhaling, diving upward, and exhaling your arms. Stick out a little bit. Just some hip circles. From here or wherever you are in this moment, maybe you begin to release your arms down, finding a little bit of movement in our fingers, maybe a circle or two in our wrists. If you're standing, we want to use the support of our chair and start to step just our left foot back. And as you do that, you could bend your right knee, shifting your weight forward. As your right knee bends, you may notice that you're able to look forward and feel a stretch in the back of our left leg. So sometimes this is called warrior one. You're welcome to explore reaching forwards. You could also reach overhead, knowing that your chair is available to you if you'd like that support today. Inhaling a lift in your heart. Let's breathe in and breathe out. You're more than welcome to stay here. Or on your next exhale, you could lean forward any amount, sweeping your arms down and back. Now, sometimes this is called humble warrior. Let's inhale, maybe reaching up. You may find you want to straighten your front right leg. And as you exhale, you could bend your knee to come forward. And we'll just take that one more time. Inhaling to rise up, exhaling to come forward. Now this time we're going to inhale to rise up. And as we exhale, bringing your hands together to your heart, we're going to bend our front right knee. Take your time to lean forward until maybe you feel you have enough weight in your right foot that with control, we can step our left foot up to meet it, releasing our hands down and shaking out, sending our hips side to side. Now, A couple little pony kicks here might feel useful to the muscles in the front of your legs, sort of bending one knee, sending one foot back and then the other, as we shift weight from side to side. Now, before we take that sequence on the other side, there's an option to explore a moment of balance. So what that may look like is stepping slightly back and lifting your right heel off of the ground. You could stay here or flexing your foot, drawing your knee forward, feeling your weight sort of shifting into our left leg, strength coursing through your left leg. Maybe you bring one hand to your heart or both hands. Let's breathe in. And as you exhale, you could land your right foot, releasing your arms down, shaking out. And whenever you feel ready, we're going to take that whole sequence on the other side. So possibly beginning to step your right foot back, and we'll find a bend in our left knee. So as you do that, again, you may feel that weight sort of shifting forward, the stretch in the back of your right leg. Maybe you're looking forwards. And if you'd like to, you could reach in front of you. That may feel like an interesting place to be. You could also choose to reach your arms overhead. And wherever you are in this moment, let's breathe in. And as you exhale, you could lean forward, sweeping your arms down and back. And as we inhale, maybe you reach up, straightening your front leg. Now, following your own breath, leaning forward any amount to find that humble warrior. Inhaling, maybe reaching up, maybe your left leg straightens. Exhaling to bend and come forward. One last time, rising up. This time, as we exhale, you could bring your hands together to your heart, bending your left knee. We're going to lean forward until you feel you have enough weight in your front left foot that with control, we can step our right foot up to meet it, sending our hands down, maybe shaking out. Maybe you decide to lift one heel and then the other, or take those pony kicks again, sending one foot back and then the other. And we'll take our balance on this side. So if you want to, you could explore lifting your left heel. Now, anytime we lift one of our heels off the ground, we are already in a balanced state. So we're already sending more weight into our right standing leg. Couple things to keep in mind here. As you lift your right heel, if you're noticing that you're sort of dropping down into your right hip, we want to explore lifting and lengthening so our core is really engaged. It's up to you if you want to flex your left foot and lift your left knee. Maybe you find a moment of balance here. Finding something that's not moving. So a focal point that you can look at that will support your balance. Let's breathe in. And as we exhale, you can land your lifted foot, releasing your arms down. Let's send our hips from side to side. Or if you'd like, you could bring your hands either to your hips or to your chair and give a gentle bend to your knees. And then we'll draw a figure 8 through the air with our hips. So what we're doing is really listening into some pretty subtle sensations in our hip joints, finding mobility and movement, letting our hips move in a way that maybe we haven't let them move today. Maybe we haven't let them move this way all week or all winter. Let's go ahead and come through standing, maybe straightening your legs, maybe reaching up to breathe in. On your exhale, you could bring your hands together to your heart. As you inhale, you could dive upward. And as we exhale, we could sweep our arms slightly back and maybe shaking out a bit. As we begin to make our way back in front of our chair, if you've been standing, remembering you're always welcome to take a water break and hydrate. As you build your body's standing body in front of your chair, maybe you reach up to breathe in. On your exhale, you could bring your arms forward, bending your knees, drawing your hips back, slowly with control, sitting into your chair and sweeping your arms down. As we inhale, you could scoop and lift your arms all the way up and exhale your arms slightly back and down. Few options here for you. You could either reach back towards the wall behind you. If it's available to hold on to your chair, you could try that as well. Either way, we want to lift through our heart, breathing in, and exhale to sweep your arms forward, crossing one arm over the other, resting your hands on your shoulders or your arms or your upper back. And then a little bit of movement side to side as we breathe. If you're clenching your jaw, this could be a moment to soften the inside of your mouth, your jaw. Could also be a moment to notice if you're furrowing your brow, sort of lifting our eyebrows a bit, softening there. And as you come through what feels like neutral, we could lift our elbows any amount, breathing in. Exhaling to lower your elbows and maybe bow your head. And you have the option of taking that one more time. Noticing which arm you've naturally placed on top. We're going to swap that out by opening your arms wide as we breathe in and exhaling the opposite arm on top. Again, you have that sort of side to side movement you could take, a little bit of an upper back twist from side to side. Maybe noticing where you're feeling sensation with this movement, more in your upper back or your lower back. And as you come through your center, if you'd like to, you could begin to lift your elbows, breathing in. And exhaling to lower your elbows, maybe bowing your head. Breathing in to lift up. Exhaling to lower, and then on an inhale, if you'd like to, you could open your arms wide, lifting through your heart to breathe in, and exhaling to float your arms down. Now, depending on kind of how your chair is set up here, if you have the space, you could sweep your arms forwards and back. You know, if you have arms on your chair, you may need to bring your arms out to the side just so you don't bonk into your furniture today. Let's inhale our arms all the way up whenever you feel ready. And exhale to pull down through the air. We're going to close our practice the same way we began. Maybe leaning, rocking side to side. Maybe a few circles in each direction. And starting to come through what feels like a neutral spine for you. And if you'd like to, you could use the strength of your fingers to give a pretty gentle little massage to your forehead, some circular movement, maybe some gentle circular movement on your temples, or very softly across your eyelids or your cheeks. There's a little bit of a pressure point behind our ears, that kind of hard mound behind our ears. You could explore some up and down pressure there. And then last but not least, you could bring your hands together and create some warmth between your palms. Once you feel that nice warmth, if you want to, you could place your hands over your eyes or over your face, just sharing that nice warmth with your own face and all your facial expression muscles. As you release your hands down, shaking out or wiggling your fingers, we'll start to get as comfortable as we can possibly be. So sitting back into the support of your chair, maybe you get comfy in some way. You know, if you're sitting on a sofa, you could go ahead and lay down if you want to. There's no wrong way to rest, no wrong way to be or breathe. It's possible that you choose to close your eyes, feeling a kind of softening in the muscles of your face, your shoulders, your belly getting large and soft as you breathe, your legs heavy and gentle. As we transition into this moment of rest and stillness, a time to absorb all the benefits of our shared practice today. We'll be here for about 1 minute, after which I'll bring us back with the sound of my voice. But right now, all you need to do is rest and breathe. Slowly beginning to deepen your breathing, taking in a great breath in through your nose if you like. Maybe exhaling through your mouth. Honoring your body by finding whatever little movements your body may be asking you for. Possibly wiggling your fingers or your toes. Maybe you take a great big stretch. If it feels interesting, you could bring one hand over the other over your heart, taking a moment just for yourself to notice any changes in how you feel since the beginning of our practice together. Perhaps blinking your eyes open as you reach up to breathe in, exhaling your hands together to your heart. Peace and light from my heart to yours. Thank you all so much for sharing this time with me, for welcoming me into this beautiful community. If you'd like to unmute and share how you're feeling or your thoughts about the class or any questions you may have, I'd love to hear from you. You're also welcome to type your questions into the chat box.
Thank you, Caro.
You're so welcome, Jacqueline. I'm glad you were here.
Thank you, beautiful, as usual. I love that beautiful number one beloved son. Blessings to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome, Miss Chloe. Thanks for being here. Hi, Jimmy. I see you waving. Hey, Doug. Hey, Margaret. This is such a beautiful community. So I wonder, let's see. So Adra will be back next week, and she's so excited to see y'all. I haven't seen her in so long. We used to be almost neighbors when I lived in California. So give her some love from me. Sonia says, as always, great workout. You're so welcome, Sonia. Thanks for being here. And then V has shared the calendar just now in the chat. If anybody wants to go ahead and download that or take a look, that's the rest of March. Any other thoughts or questions, feelings, just something you want to tell us about your day? Let's see. We got somebody named Northwood says, thanks, good workout. You're so welcome. So glad you were here.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Margaret. You too. For some reason, the way my screen was set up, I could mostly just see myself and Margaret today. So I got to kind of practice with you. I'm not sure why it was that way, but it felt like a private sesh.
No cheating today.
Yeah, my eyes on you. Let's see. Joanna, thank you for a delightful class. Aw, you're a positive teacher who makes yoga joy. Joanna, thanks for saying that. That really makes my day. I appreciate that. My endorphins, thank you, says Sonia. Me too. This class always brings out a lot of endorphins for me. It's all the positivity I need right now. So I appreciate y'all.
Is Bertha here?
Yes, I see Bertha.
Yeah,
She's waving. She's waving. Honey. She's clapping. She's thumbs upping. What a treat. Well, I only got interrupted once by my 2-year-old who's still at home with me. But we managed just fine. So good job, everyone. Okay, well, what a treat. I hope you all have just wonderful classes next week and onward with Adra. I believe the next time I'm going to see y'all is in May, so I look forward to that. And in the meantime, just take care of yourselves, keep shining your bright light, and I'll see you when I see you.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye, everyone.